Hello my friends! So today I am getting all of my seeds together for planting some crops in the garden for fall. I thought I would bring you guys along and show you what I'm planting. So before I get into this video, I thought I should add that this is my first year planting anything for fall, and I'm doing this extremely loosely because my summer has been way too busy for me to keep much track of my garden this year, which I feel bad for, but also this is my first year having a really big garden and growing many different things rather than just tomatoes, because I've always grown tomatoes. That's like the one thing that I've always grown. So anyways, I am going to experiment this fall. This is very much an experimental fall garden for me. I usually plant everything at the beginning of summer or late spring, and that's it. When it starts to get blighty or whatever, I take it out. So this will be my first fall garden, everybody, so I thought I'd bring you along and show you my plan, which is not really a plan at all. My estimated first frost date this year, I believe it is October 6th, which is kind of early. I think that is... Hey Siri, how many days away is October 6th?
It was 318 days ago.
No. Hey Siri, how many days away is October 6th?
It was 318 days ago.
Okay, let's try Googling it since she's incompetent today. Okay, so this is saying that there are 47 days until October 6th. Now, a lot of these things that I'm planting have a longer time frame to reach maturity than 50 days. So I am going to be gambling quite a bit with a few things. I should have no problem growing one, maybe even two crops of radishes before my first frost date. So I have a few different kinds. My kids got into my seeds after I had them all organized, so now they're kind of all over the place, but that's okay. So I have bartender radish. These take 35 days to mature. I also have some champion radish. These take 20 to 30 days to mature. So if these mature early enough, I should have time to grow 2, maybe even 3 crops of those specific variety. These are early scarlet globe radish. These take 22 to 24 days to mature. I'm going to plant some French breakfast radish seeds and the China rose radish seeds. All of these varieties of radishes, I did plant all of these in the early spring, and they all went to seed. None of them bulbed up for me whatsoever. I mean, I think I harvested one where the bulb was like maybe the size of like a dime, but that's as good as we got. So I'm gonna try again, and I'm pretty confident that I will get a good harvest of radishes. We shall see. Now okay, I'm trying to get these a little more organized here. Okay, so I'm also going to try to grow some root vegetables because I think that I don't see why I couldn't grow these past a frost. I would think that they would still be okay, but I guess, you know, experimenting, we will find out. So I am also going to grow some Detroit dark red beets, and I also have some Detroit Supreme beets, and then these Detroit dark red beets. I have yet to successfully grow a beet, so we shall see if I can make that happen. I'm also going to plant some of these golden ball turnip seeds. These say 50 days to maturity. Now I have these, and I'm going to plant them. I'm not going to have high expectations for either of these, but we shall see. I have heard of people in my climate. I live in southern Wisconsin. My zone is 5B. I have heard of other people in my climate plant these in late summer and keep them in the ground even when the ground freezes and just pull them up as needed. So I'm going to attempt to do this. I have zero experience doing this, but I thought it would be a really fun experiment. I've heard that they actually, I'll show you what it is. It's the Hamburg rooted parsley. This is not a parsnip, but I've heard that it's very similar, and the tops are edible like parsley. It's a parsley, essentially. but you can eat the root as well. And then I also, this says 70 to 90 days maturity. And this one I'm a little nervous about, but I'm going to try it because I've heard people have success with it, so I'm just going to try. And this is the Harris Model Parsnip. This is 130 days to maturity, so I have no idea what to expect here, but it is a root vegetable. Maybe I will get really lucky and we will have a mild winter. I know that the Farmer's Almanac, it's not guessing that we will at all. It's supposed to be a really nasty winter, especially here in the Midwest. So we'll see. Hopefully they're wrong. We'll find out. Anyway, I'm going to attempt to grow these. I've heard that if you allow these to be hit by frost and like freeze, that they get very, very sweet and they're very delicious. And we love parsnips. They are one of my favorite vegetables to have roasted. I love roasted, can't think of it now, radishes. I've had roasted radishes. I've had roasted parsnips. Oh man, I mean, if you don't like a vegetable, try roasting it and then say you don't like it. So I also have heard that brassicas are cold hardy. I have experience with kale, and that's, I think, the only brassica that I have experience with. I have actually had kale plants in the spring that after all the snow has melted, they were green and actually started growing again, which is crazy for where I live. So in a mild winter here in southern Wisconsin, you can actually overwinter kale, which is really cool. So anyways, I am going to attempt to grow cabbage, bok choy, broccoli, spring rapini or broccoli rabe. I am going to also plant some more of these Parisian pickling cucumbers. These cucumbers are absolutely delicious for fresh eating. I haven't pickled any yet. I plan to. But my hope is that I can get another harvest of cucumbers before we have our frost. And I think in order to make that happen, we would have to have a frost date later than October 6th. So we'll see. I'm also going to plant some peas. These say 60 to 65 days to harvest. So that's quite a gamble. But these seeds are actually really old, so I feel like I'm not really losing anything if they don't make it. I'm going to take all of my kale plants that I have in my front containers. I'm going to take all of those because they're still looking pretty good, and I'm going to move them into my garden in my back. And I'm just going to keep harvesting off of those. I'm thinking that I will also plant some more kale seeds just for fun because I have so many kale seeds. I have lacinato kale. I have a couple of these Vates kale packs that actually came with my green stalks, and then I have this red Russian kale. This stuff is delicious, by the way. And then I have some Premier kale. This is a really old seed pack that I bought. It was packed for 2017, so it is what, 5 years old? Wow. I'm also going to plant some Bloomsdale long-standing spinach and some Carenta spinach. I'm also going to grow some Swiss chard. I have some in my green stalk out front that's doing great. So I figured, why not grow some more in the garden? I haven't grown it in a garden ever. This is my first year growing it, and I planted it in my green stalk. I also have this salad bowl mix of seeds, lettuce seeds from Emma Gardner. And then I have this remarkable cold hardiness, this Four Seasons lettuce I'm going to also plant. Bronze mignonette, am I saying that correctly? I do not know French, I'm assuming that's French. But I have this that I am going to plant as well. I've grown basil before, never from seed. This is my first year growing it from seed, and it has been very successful, which is really exciting. It's very easy to grow, by the way, if you've never grown it. I highly recommend it. Sweet basil. I'm going to plant some of this. If I plant this and it's not fully mature before my first frost, what I will do is I will dig it up and I will put it in a pot and I will stick it in my sunroom and I will grow it in there until it gets too cold in there, and then I will probably bring it in my house. Now this one, I really meant to plant some of this and I don't know why I did not. I did not realize that this doesn't take nearly as long to mature as I thought. At least this variety does not. It doesn't say in here, but I believe that it says down here 60 days. It says down here 60 days to harvest. I think the other variety I had, what is this one? bouquet. I can't remember what the other dill that I had was, but the other one takes longer. So I'm gonna try growing this one. I would love to be able to get some dill. If I could get my dill and my cucumbers to be ready on time and they don't get hit by an early frost and die, it would be really fun to have these mature at the same time so that I can use the dill to pickle some cucumbers. How fun would that be? That has always been something that I've wanted to do. Let's get to it. I had to wait until after dinner to finish doing all of this. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna start planting. Oh, I need to grab my tags really quick. Well, my friends, I think that this is pretty much my very loose plan for my fall garden. I'm gonna water these trays in and go stick them in my little cheap plastic greenhouse that's outside and let them germinate in there. They should germinate pretty quickly because it's been pretty warm during the days here. And I have a handful of seeds that I think they're all root vegetables. All of those, I'm gonna direct sow those as soon as my space is all ready to be planted. So my friends, I think that is all that I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed coming along and watching my very loose plan for my fall garden. There will be a part 2 to this when these things germinate and when I direct sow the rest of my things into their spaces for fall. So anyway, until then, have a blessed day, my friends, and happy gardening.